Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. This is going to be a first impressions on a pretty new knife that a lot of people are pretty excited about, myself included. Before we get into the knife, I'll just show you the packaging. This, of course, is a WE knife looking pouch, and that's because this knife is made by WE Knives for William Boos. This is, of course, the Boos Blades Smoke, and there's the logo based on his dog, a border collie, and there's the little certificate or the product card, I guess, you get with the knife. I'll throw these things in the package, move those out of the way, and bring in the thing that everyone came to see. There is the knife right there. Got to tell you a little bit of background here. I was pretty impressed with this design when I started seeing people get it in the first run. And so when I found out there was going to be a second run and that the price point was going to be 200 bucks, I was pretty pleased with that. So I went ahead and paid the, I can't remember what the fee was, $5 or $10 to get in on the second run. And then you pay the remainder when it was finished. I went with the blue. There were a couple of other options available, and I think there are, this time, I think he did an all black version as well as the, I think, green and maybe plain tie. And maybe there'd be another, I can't remember. I think that's all the options. Anyway, I like the blue the best, so that's what I went with. Just kind of wanted to put it out there that there are some other colors available, or potentially available. One other thing I should say while we're kind of doing introductions here, a few days ago on Instagram, William Boos put up that there are some overruns left, but a very limited number. I don't know if they're all gone already, but if you're really wanting one of these, I would go check out his website, first his Instagram feed, and you can get from there to his website. The other thing is, if they're all gone and you really want one, go ahead and let him know. There is, I'm pretty sure on his website, a way to say like, hey, I'd buy one of these if you do another run. He is definitely contemplating another run, just kind of gauging interest right now. So if you really want one and you haven't gotten one of the first two runs of, I think they were 200 each, then let him know, and you can probably get in on the next run. And I'm gonna say, if this knife is at all appealing to you, I think it's quite a win. So you're probably going to want to check one of these guys out. Now that I've given you sort of all that background information, by the way, I'll put a link to his website in the comment section on this video. Now that I've given you all that stuff, let's go ahead and take a look at the knife. First of all, before we actually do that, let me share with you what made me so interested in this knife, and that is just the design on this. Isn't this an attractive looking knife? I think this is much nicer looking than William Boos's previous knife, the Arrow, which I'm pretty sure was made by Millet Knives. That was a knife that, I don't know, didn't do much for me. I didn't hate it, and then when I started seeing some reviews and people had some issues with fit and finish and different things like that, I was like, yeah, not gonna pick up that one. However, this one I was much more interested in for a number of reasons, and I think you'll see that as we go through the features. So let's go ahead and quickly do that now. So there's the maker's mark right there. So we have a stone-washed, full flat ground blade in S35 VN, which is very nice steel. And the stonewash is really, really nicely done on this. Generally, as you know, I like a satin blade, but this one does match with the handle pretty nicely. And of course, it's called the Smoke, so it kind of feels like it should be a little bit grayed out, okay? In terms of action, you've got a front flipper here and a very, very nice ceramic bearing pivot system, which does work really nicely. In terms of deployment, not only can you use your thumb to do the front flipper, but you can get your finger, at least my finger slides into that cutout in the blade really nicely to deploy the knife that way as well. This is a really, really fidgety knife, guys. If you are one of those guys who likes to sit and play with your knife for long periods of time, you're gonna hate this knife or love it. You will not be able to put it down. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there to the handle itself. I went with, of course, the blue, and you've got blue anodization over a really nice stonewash. I gotta say, I really, really like the way this is finished. Milled titanium clip, titanium backspacer here, the lanyard hole is kind of integrated there. Of course, titanium frame lock bar insert, and you can even see there's a little over travel stop in there. So they've thought of all the usual things that we expect to see in a higher end knife. They've also removed some material here, which does make the knife lighter. There's no internal milling if you take a look in there. So there's nothing inside, but certainly on the outside there. By the way, I've got to say one of the really, really nice features of this is that really attractive pivot. I love that pivot. Just to me adds a really, really attractive detail to the knife. So so those are kind of all the features that we're dealing with. By the way, you can see the other side is just a torque so that it's fairly easy to adjust. All right, fairly comfortable in hand, a little slim, but nice. You know, when I first got it in hand, my big concern was that it was too slim, but it's really actually quite good. The jimping on the back of the spine here, again, is really good. Like they've really nailed that aspect. It catches your thumb just enough. It's not so sharp. The blade has some nice little chamfers on it, and it's wide enough that when you know, if you're holding it like this, it's a smaller knife. So for me, that I want a little more real estate, and you can get your thumb up here very comfortably. So those are kind of the features here. Let's go ahead and give you the specs. So size and weight. I think I got the wrong end of the ruler here. Yeah, there we go. So this knife is exactly 8 inches overall. The blade length here is going to be 3.5 inches. And as a surprise to no one, since you can all probably do math, the handle there is 4.5 inches. The flipper tab does stick up a little bit, but I'm going to disregard that. So that's what we're dealing with in terms of size. It's a little over 3/8 of an inch thick, if you can see that there. Now, let's get to the very cool point here. So it's a small knife already. I mean, very slim, very very minor in terms of its overall size. Hold on, sorry, I can't talk and work the scale at the same time for some reason. But let's go ahead and get a weight on this. All right, and I think it's going to be pretty well done. What the heck? Oh, great. Maybe my battery's running low. Okay, it's in ounces now. Let's hope this works for us. There we go, 2.82 ounces, 2.82 ounces. That is really, really nice. And it looks like I need to replace the battery in here because it keeps giving me that weird error message. But 2.82 ounces is very, very lightweight. And this does feel really, really light in hand, guys. I've got to say, pretty impressive. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of things that I've got to say I'm really, really pleased about. The first one is, you know, I think Boos has a really cool sort of these slim, long knives are sort of within his wheelhouse, and so I like that, and I love the fact that he went with WE knives for this because they really, really did nail it. The quality on this is outstanding, and the value is really, really up there. So you're getting an 8-inch titanium frame lock, really, really cool design, some really nice anodizing here for $200. All right, and that I'm going to say is a really good value. Yeah, there are some cheaper tie frame locks out there, but there are also some that are costing quite a bit more, and this one is exceptionally well done. So oh, by the way, it's also somewhat limited. Now, as I say, he is gauging interest to do another run. So if you really want one of these, you ought to get in touch with him. But even if he does, you know, 800 or 1,000 of these, there are not a whole lot of them out there. And I think people are excited about them for good reason. So what's my overall take on this knife, guys? What is my thinking here? Well, I think here you have the nearly perfect EDC knife. It satisfies a lot of, you know, it checks a lot of boxes for a lot of guys. It's really well put together. It looks really cool. It's high-end materials. It's at a reasonable price. I mean, $200 is a lot, but, you know, if you're into higher-end knives, which, you know, if you're following William Boos and buying, if you're even watching this video, you probably are. Okay, so I think the value is up there, the quality is up there, and it gives you something that you can carry anytime, anywhere, and not have, you know, not have any kind of weight challenges. So if you know, you're someone who wants something nice to carry in the office or to church on Sunday or something else where you want a lighter, slimmer knife, 2.8 ounces, you could even carry this running or something like that if you really wanted to. So If you wanted something that's a little lighter, a little slimmer, that you can carry on those days where, you know, you need something like that, where you're not going to carry, you know, some big heavy custom or something like that, I think this is a great option. I think it's really well made, and I think Boost and we have really hit one out of the park on this. In my full review, you know, there may be a couple things that I can complain about, but nothing stands out right now as problematic. We'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. Make sure that you like and subscribe so you get a chance to see that full review, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this knife down below. What do you think? Is it the nicest knife around, or is, you know, do you feel like this could have been done differently, or what? I'd love to hear your feedback as well down in the comments. So let me know what you're thinking. And I just dropped my remote. So I'll say it one more time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.